What's up, guys? It's Swervo, and today we're going to be talking about the mid-chapter update that is coming up. We're going to start with the HUD update. So Dead by Daylight decided to change the HUD. Instead of its usual look and position, they have decided to move the survivors' names from the bottom left of the screen to the top left of the screen. And they are placed more vertical instead of horizontal. They also include survivor information like player icon and the amount of times they've been hooked. The generator icon is also moved to the top center of the screen. I will say that I'm not really feeling the position of where the HUD is. I don't like that it's up there. I like having 3/4, if not more, of my screen being pretty much empty from the bottom up. I feel that I can focus on the game more. I mean, most games have their HUD at the bottom corners of the screen, such as like Overwatch or Call of Duty. I will give my final opinion of it once it's rolled out. It's just something to really get used to. They said they did this because of the HUD and the information updates. There weren't enough space to include the new features that are coming, which is what we're about to get into right now. So as mentioned before, you can see the progress of the status of each survivor's hookings. This is great as it may increase altruism between survivors. The issue that I'm having, and I'm very wary of, is that killers can also see that information too. I'm afraid that this might increase tunneling behavior, especially with them nerfing Undying and not nerfing the keys, Decisive or Unbreakable. I mean, did we not forget how much tunneling there was in the game after them just taking one weekend of making Bloodlust inactive? But we'll see. I also like that you can adjust the HUD size to your liking. So hopefully when I ain't gonna say when, but if I don't like it, I can just make it a little bit smaller. And if you guys prefer it and like it, then you can make it bigger. Other than that, as long as it doesn't create more glitches and break the game, I'm all for it. Just know they said that this current HUD is subject to change because they have more stuff coming. So I'm kind of excited to see that. So another big thing that was talked about was that there actually are some killer buffs. So the first buff will have to be the clown. So as expected, there are changes coming. He will keep his regular pink or purple bottle / gas that slow the survivors down. Now the clown can also throw yellow bottles, which is what they are calling Afterpiece Antidote, which is gray when it's first thrown and is inactive for like a second and then it turns yellow. This will allow anybody running through it, whether survivor or killer, to get a 10% increase in movement speed. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, this is pretty interesting because we all know the fattest man in the game is like the fastest man in the game. It's already hard to outrun him, even with loops and pallets. And especially if you're in a tough spot or it's later in the game and there are hardly any pallets. Can we please get an F in the chat when that happens? Like, did they really just give Dr. Eggman a freaking Sonic speed boost? Like, out of all the players, y'all give a speed boost to him. Like, RIP to the pig, huh? Like, y'all completely forgot about the pig thing. But anyway, the yellow gas is actually going to add some spice to the gameplays, whether it would be in favor of the killer or survivor. There could be some real good and strategic mind games going on, and I'm looking forward to it. Imagine sprint bursting into a yellow cloud. It's like Ford versus Ferrari. They also lowered the antidote cooldown from 5 seconds to 3. So, like I said, my man's got a whole buff. I wonder if they'll end up nerfing him later, because survivors are probably going to complain about him. I mean, he's going to be pretty stronger and harder to go against, especially in solo or duo queues. They made him a lot faster, that's all I can say. They done really turned this clown. They really turned this man into a wide body Ferrari. Or a Hellcat. My man's go vroom, 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 vroom. Alright, so another update, or I guess you could call a buff, kinda, would be for the Wraith. The Wraith is getting true invisibility. At the 24 hours. At the 24 meters, you cannot see him at all. There is no distortion or anything. And then the distortion comes in at around 16 meters. So it's going to be a lot harder to track him from a really safe distance. So you can kind of take what you want. I still consider that a buff. I think that's cool. That's how it kind of should have been. So then we got the Trapper's Traps. They're making changes to the amount of times or chances a survivor has to escape from the traps. Before, you could get about a 60 to 70% chance of escaping, whether it was your first, second, or 15th time trying to get out, which wouldn't really make it fair for either the Trapper or the Dwight. Now, the Dwight, Claudette. No, the survivors, sorry. The survivors have between 1 to 6 times to escape. So the first 3 attempts are at its lowest to give the Trapper ample time to get there and to collect the survivor. The 4th attempt is around the same, around the 60 to 70% chance of escaping. And then the 5th and 6th attempt increases the chance of escaping. So between that 5th and 6th, you're definitely going to probably get up. I mean, you got to. It's only like, what, 6 chances you get? So then there's also been a matchmaking update. So MMR is back. They will no longer be doing matchmaking based off of rank anymore. It will be based off of your performance. You will also get rewards each month based on what rank you end up with prior to the rank reset on the 13th. So I actually agree with this. I feel like ranks can be very deceiving, especially nowadays. You always hear how being in red and purple ranks used to be a brag, which it was. But then it got way too easy, and now you can't even tell the difference between a rank 5 and a rank 15. I'm glad it's going to be like this. Now, killers that are really good with playing with one killer like a Myers will play against survivors with a higher skill level. Then when he goes to learning the nurse, and he'll suck at it, he'll be placed with survivors with novice or medium skill levels. It might help with the pipping and not discourage our already discouraged killers. Yes, the killers. Especially after this nerf. So, how do I feel about the rank reset? Setting us back to 20 every month. I mean, like, will that give our games, will our games be shit for the first week? Or will we be able to play with okay survivors? I know rank essentially has nothing to do with skill at this point, but I'm just saying, it's does that mean we start out with everybody trash? It's a pile of okay and bad and good survivors, and then when we work our way up every month, we get with the people we're supposed to be with. I'm just saying, because not everybody's gonna be the same skill level as they were a month ago. So I'm just asking. But anyway, as far as the rewards, I think that's pretty cool. I feel like they should do that anyway. They should have been doing that regardless. Kinda, I guess. So then we also got perk changes. So diversion, the timer will be lowered so that a user can use the perk more often. So they ended up buffing a little bit. I mean, that's give or take. I don't really use it. I'm only use it for a video or whatever. Then we got fixated. I know some people that actually use this. It also got a little bit of a buff. It's active when injured, so that's pretty neat. That's cool. Then we get to the killers, their feeling. They knew it was coming. Hex Undying. Hex Undying got a nerf. So instead of having to cleanse it 4 times, we won't have to cleanse it 2 times. Okay, I'm a survivor, so I'm doing this from the survivor perspective. The killer can also not see the auras of the hex totems, only the dual totems. So how do I feel about this? I actually kind of agree with it. I mean, having to clean it 4 times was ridiculous, and it definitely was not fair, in my opinion. Because that's when the killer would start slugging. I mean, they slug, they knock down one person, then you go to hook them, then another person goes try to unhook the person. You're trying to find it. It takes time off the gens. It was just a little bit too powerful prior to this nerf. But them doing this now, nerfing it down to 2, actually it's not all that bad. And actually, I feel like it's a little bit more balanced. As far as when dealing with it swift, I don't really run a 4-man swift, so I really can't speak on it, but that's a lot of killers' complaints, and that's tough. But even with a swift, I feel like that's still kind of OP. But we got Iron Maiden. The exposure went up from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. And it sucks for our inner strength users like me, but I'm not even mad at this at this point. I mean, it's a give or take. They hardly would even come over there after I would get out of the locker. So then we got an update to the animations. I'm not going to spend much time on the animations, but what they were showing, it looked, okay. I mean, hopefully it doesn't break the game, but I mean, they were doing it to keep up with the graphical update, so it's going to have a more realistic look to it. That's cool. Like I said, as long as it doesn't break the game or, like it did prior, I'm okay with it. Then we got the graphical updates, as you can see on your screen. I'm mad that they're about to mess up Crotus Asylum and the loops, and they're probably going to add dead zones to it. But as far as the detail, it looks good so far. And as far as the meat packaging plan, I mean, I don't even care for that map. I hate that map, honestly. Like I said, it looks good. I see that it like we're going to have a little bit more light on the second floor. So that may or may not work in our favor. Survivors and War Killer too. But I'm just glad that we can I'm assuming we can see a little bit more. So I'm happy for that. I mean, there's really not much more I can say about it. But I mean, what do you guys think about that? I'm just scared they're going to mess up the survivor friendly map. Freaking Cold Wind Farm, the GOAT of all maps. I'm just dreading the day they're going to mess that up. Anyway, as far as the wrap up, I feel it's going to be a pretty decent update, or at least the intentions behind it, I'm very supportive of this time. I feel they're actually putting in a real effort to balance the game. Even though that I know they should know that's going to be nearly impossible. They're going to end up putting updates out to do that every single time. This is not bad. I'm just praying that this does not mess up the game even further, with the animation and stuff like that. But if this is them really putting in real effort to try to balance the game, man, I can get behind it. Like, I'm proud of them this time. I think this is pretty balanced for killers and survivors. Anyway, what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm trying to get a gameplay video out, but again, the tunneling is out of control, and it's probably about to get even more out of control after this update. But hope you guys remember, man, to stay safe out here. Protect yourself, protect your vibe, and with that, Swervo is out.